Hello, Ray Phoenix here, and welcome to Let's Play LEGO Star Wars The Video Game, Part 9. This is the second, time we fly a ship or something like that in this game. We're playing in a shooter game. It's much like, feels kind of like Zaxxon or something like that. Or even that Captain Skyhawk game on the NES or something like that. It feels very like an isometric, vertical shooter game. This is actually one of the more challenging levels of the game. It's actually very challenging if you don't know what to do. So yes, we're going to keep destroying those Hailfire tanks and those other Spider tanks, things like that they have, that the Separatists are using. We're armed with a bunch of clones. A bunch of clones have been deployed to the ground to fight in GI ground combat. And also among them is, of course, Jedi Bob. Who can forget Jedi Bob, right? He's the greatest Jedi around. The Jedi, too bad he must have died in the Clone Wars or died around this time, because if Jedi Bob were still alive during Revenge of the Sith, the Jedi Order never would have died. But it did, so clearly Jedi Bob wasn't there. So now we have to fly through, dodge these laser things they have here. Again, as I said before, the prequels are way more advanced than the original trilogy in terms of technology. But of course, better technology doesn't mean better storytelling. That's a pretty, elementary fact right here. So, as you see, we're getting a lot of health as well, too, from these things. Because apparently, killing something else killing another enemy could use their shielding and things like that to help build up yours. I guess that's the logic behind this. As well as, just defend yourself using the gun and shoot off whatever you can in defense. Because the gun really is serving more as defense than offense. I'm really just using it to defend myself against enemies, and most of the time it results in the enemies getting killed. Making me sound like a pacifist still playing this game, or more like a peacekeeper kind of thing, which is technically what we're supposed to be. We are the Jedi after all, and we are supposed to be peacekeepers that protect the Republic and defend the Republic from crime and threats of violence and war and things like that. But of course, some Jedi often seem to forget that. We already have 4 of the mini kits. Most of the super kit is, well, we don't actually have much of the super kit yet, but it will come very, rapidly. So we're here. So again, we're flying in this arid rock planet of Geonosis. Again, this almost looks a bit like a level from Soldier Vanishing Earth. So we can destroy the energy shield there. Make sure you hit the proper charge of the energy shield. And I think we're already at the final part of the level already. Yep, that's how short this level is. This level is extremely short. So you see they have those sphere things there, those giant satellite things. I'm not sure what those are exactly. I think those are some sort of satellite feed thing. It's really easy to get a lot of studs. Look at that. It's got a blue stud from destroying that laser turret thing. And they're constantly filled with, defense gears and the defense mechanisms. This whole level's about defense, really. So it's your best duty to, destroy their defense so you can cripple their forces. And that's what we're doing. Trying to prevent those starships from being sent into space. However, this isn't going to change the fact that the Clone Wars have already commenced. And now, the galaxy is pretty much doomed because of the Clone Wars. And if the galaxy wasn't so doomed, we wouldn't have had the original trilogy. So I guess there's something good in that. Everyone loves the original Star Wars trilogy, and everyone hates these prequel movies. So there, we destroyed that laser cannon fire. Oh, we only have 10 seconds left. I don't think I'm going to make it. A 9, 8, 7, I'm not going to make it. There's barely any time left. Oh, I just got the super kit piece. And we did it! We got all 10 mini kits and got the super kit piece. And oh, look, Dooku's getting away. Yeah, Dooku always gets away. He escaped. We know he's hiding something. He's probably hiding the plans to, some special sphere that's gonna go into space and destroy planets or something like that. We know he has the plans for that, and it's up to us to get those plans for him so the Separatists can't create this big sphere in space that can destroy planets. So we're gonna fight Count Dooku now, Qui-Gon Jinn's master. That's right, this Count Dooku guy trained Qui-Gon Jinn, the Jedi that trained Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's why Count Dooku often thinks of Obi-Wan Kenobi as a grandson, or a grandson-like character. So Anakin still has his green lightsaber, and Obi-Wan still has the blue lightsaber, because they lost their lightsabers, so they had to get temporary spares. Too bad they left out the, spoiler alert, they're gonna leave out the part where Anakin ends up with both lightsabers, because the engine can't handle that, and probably because people made this game more, again, lazy. This is still more accurate to the game than to the movie than, some other versions. Like the Game Boy Advance version tragically leaves a lot out. Almost the whole movie's left out, almost to the point where you ask, is this really supposed to be Attack of the Clones? How is this Attack of the Clones? Do the people who make this game actually watch the movie? Well, in the case of the console version and PC version, they did, but Game Boy Advance version, not so much. They even left the Jedi Battle out of there, Mace Windu. How can you leave something like that out of a LEGO Star Wars game? Based on Attack of the Clones, so we need Jar Jar to get up there again. It's always Jar Jar. It's always Jar Jar for your game. There's Dooku's speeder. If we destroy that, he can't get away. Well, what do you expect? It's Dooku. We're fighting him in some place that looks like a medieval church. However, this medieval church doesn't actually exist in real life on account of almost everything in Attack of the Clones with CGI. Even simple window scenes were filmed that were CGI and the actors just act in front of a green screen. Because George Lucas is like, oh, why spend so much money traveling the world when you could just create everything at home? Yeah, it's like, hey mom, can we travel the world and get cool background and scenery for things? And then the mom says, we have cool background and scenery at home. And at home it's, some unrealistic looking, environment. Because all these environments are very unrealistic, in which it's all, fake, it's all CGI. So I'm just a few studs away from getting the super kit piece, and here's a mini kit close by, but unfortunately I don't think we can get that mini kit. And this is also untrue to the movie too, because we're both fighting Dooku at the same time. If Anakin and Obi-Wan fought Dooku at the same time, especially they threw Mace Windu and Yoda in there at the same time too, they very well could have defeated Count Dooku, and the whole Star Wars saga could very well have ended right here. So we just got the super kit now, as you can see. We have to use the power of Force, both of them do Obi-Wan and Anakin. They have to use the Force at the same time to throw the debris back at Dooku. Because Dooku seems to be the master of debris all of a sudden. It kind of mimics Empire Strikes Back when Darth Vader used Force and threw a bunch of junk at Luke Skywalker. As George Lucas says, it's like poetry. It rhymes. It copies what it did before. Yeah, he took that too seriously when he made these movies, because really Attack of the Clones really was Empire Strikes Back in 2002. So we're going to play as Yoda for the first time. This game is the first time I ever saw Yoda use his lightsaber and be an action hero and fight off the evil Count Dooku. It's like the absolute good versus absolute evil kind of thing. This is also the first time I ever thought of Yoda as being an action character, because you see, before this movie, before Attack of the Clones came out, I knew about Yoda. I've seen the original trilogy, I've seen Empire Strikes Back, I've seen Return of the Jedi, I've seen Phantom Menace a lot before, but in those movies, you never see Yoda actually do battle, and because of that, I never really thought of Yoda much as being an action character, like a character would take out a lightsaber and, fight someone, or defeat enemies, or things like that. I never really viewed Yoda as being that kind of character, before I saw Attack of the Clones, that is. And after I saw Attack of the Clones, it really drastically changed how I viewed Yoda. Now I view Yoda as being this action hero, this action battling character hero. Imagine seeing a Muppet do all that. It actually would have looked very comical. So I have seen Muppet movies before where they get Muppets to do fighting action scenes where they jump around and they fight, and they, kind of like in that movie, It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas movie, which ironically enough came out around the same time Attack of the Clones. Came out the same year Attack of the Clones came out. And look, episode 2 is complete, the shortest episode in the game. So it's funny, because episode 2 is the longest movie in Star Wars, but in the video game, it's actually the shortest episode. That's because not very much interesting stuff happened in episode 2 of the movie, and make it for a good video game. There was even an episode 2 game on the Game Boy Advance, which is really bad. It had the same gameplay engine that the Mortal Kombat games had. Same with Batman Forever on the SNES. It plays in a way where you keep getting the idea you're going to be ripping someone's spine out or something, because of how it plays. It's impossible to get through the first level too. So you see Dooku's conspiring with Chancellor Palpatine, but he's dressed as a Sith Lord, and so we know something more is coming. There's a big plan up ahead for Revenge of the Sith. But that'll be in the next part. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.